everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Esli from Inky and the Brain, and today I have a bit of a peek into what I call my health journal. I have talked about this quite a few times on my channel every now and again, and it's something I've been using since August. I've mentioned it in so many videos, but my life kind of changed in August. I was diagnosed with something that I've not yet talked about, but I am just trying to do a better job at tracking my health. You know, everything that I feel, everything that I eat, and just everything, like workouts and things. And I kind of made like a little pattern in my, this is a Hobonichi, this is an A6 Hobonichi, and I'll get into it in a moment. To kind of take care of all of that, to have a place to write all that down and to be able to see it so that I can track and see any trends and see, hey, you know, this day I did work out, and then the next day I felt this, or, you know, I ate this and this happened, or whatever it may be, just so that I can see trends and, you know, ultimately help myself out in the long run. So this is an A6 Hobonichi, like I mentioned, so it is a day on one page. Now I'm not going to open to the front of this. I'm not going to show any days that are already done, just because some of the information is private to me. It is, you know, it's my health, so it's not necessarily something that I want to put out there, but it is, I wanted to share the way I'm setting this up and just what I'm doing, what I'm tracking, because I figure with the new year right around the corner, maybe this is something that you might want to start doing as well. It's maybe something you've thought about. You obviously do not need a Hobonichi. This can be done in any notebook. You know, I like this because it's small, it's really compact, it's an A6 size. So, you know, it's about the size of my hand here, and I like this because it already has the days for you, and then it also has like a monthly view in the beginning, and then I like this because I just love this paper. I love the Tomoe River paper. I know some people hate it. This is, if you're not familiar, this is really thin paper. Think like Bible paper, but maybe like a lightly thicker, I think. I feel like Bible paper is a little thinner than this, but it's kind of that same texture. But yeah, that's why I love this, and that's why I use a Hobonichi, and honestly also because I had it around. I was using it as a planner at the beginning of the year, and then I decided not to, and so it had been sitting around, and then in August, like I mentioned, when I had my diagnosis, I just picked this up because it was here. So I'm going to show you how I set this up. So let me go to a page at least closer to the date that we're in. So let's just go to this week. I have a doctor appointment this week on Friday, which is why I have that mark there. And anytime I have something like ahead of, you know, that is kind of something scheduled that is health related, it is in my normal planner, but I just write it in here up at the top. This is where I put, at the top I put my weekly weigh-ins. I weigh in, like do my official weigh-ins on Mondays, so I put in my weigh-in at the top as well. So this top part is just kind of, you know, things that are maybe like pre-scheduled. It's not like part of my everyday kind of thing. So what I do is I have this cup of pens in my little planner cart. I just grab whatever pen suits me that day. I don't, you know, there's no like rhyme or reason. I just like to use different colors because it, I don't know, it just makes me want to be in it, you know, like makes me want to kind of play with it and look at it. I'm twisting y'all a little bit just so that it's easier for me to write. So what I do is, first thing, I just make a line down across the bottom. I leave myself 4 squares down here. And then I do, I think it's 7 squares that I do on the side here. This does not have to be perfect. I do not use a ruler. If I were to use a ruler, I would like spend so much time doing this and it would just get annoying. So I basically just make little squares. So I take medicine every day. So the first thing I mark at the top here is meds, and then I put AM and PM. I have to be mindful of the time that I take my medicine. Let me zoom y'all in. And I realize this looks really wonky, and like I said, I don't try to make this perfect or like super cute or anything, because then that would, I feel like that would, because it's something that's kind of labor intensive, like I do this every single day, I feel like it would probably overwhelm me. So I just kind of throw it together. So meds, I put AM, PM, and then I write in, you know, once I take my medication, I write in the time here of when I took it. And then I write energy. There are some days where, you know, energy's super good and I'm like wanting to do things and wanting to be out. And then there's other days where my energy is super low. So I put energy, and then I put AM, mid, and PM. So, you know, kind of how did I wake up? How was I around midday? And then how was I around, you know, in the evening? So I put this kind of in a scale. So I will put a number like 0 through 10. Or I will put like low, mid, whatever. And then I put mood, because, you know, it's not necessarily the same thing. Sometimes I can be like energetic moving around, but I'm still like agitated or irritated or whatever it may be. So I do the same thing, mood, AM, mid, PM, and I write that down. So I check in with myself. I will typically fill this in at night. I don't like, I have this out where it's easily accessible to me so I can fill it out throughout the day, but most of these things I will fill out at night. And then I write TCal, which stands for total calories, and I give myself a little space for that. Then I write TCarb, so total carbs, and I give myself a space for that. So at the end of the day, I tally how many calories I had for that day and how many carbs. I am trying to lose weight, and I am cutting carbs, but I'm not doing, you know, like, it's not like I'm just cutting carbs and letting myself eat anything. I still count my calories so that I'm not overeating, you know, like in general. So total calories, and then I mark workouts. I leave myself a little bit bigger of a space for that so that I can write down exactly what I did. Like, did I just do, you know, 30 minutes of walking, or did I also do, you know, arms that day or legs or whatever it may be? I write that in here. And then on this last little space that's kind of already made, I will put HS, which just stands for hours slept. And I mark here if I, like, how many hours I slept during the night, and how, like, if I took a nap or something that day, how long I slept for. So that is my little kind of column here of the things that I write. And then at the bottom, I will split this section here. Let me, oh, I'm so sorry about that, y'all. I bumped y'all. I'm separate a section here, which is where I mark any kind of symptoms that I had during the day, because I take medication. Sometimes I get like side effects of the medication, or if I have a headache, or if I have any weird sensation, any pain, anything at all, I mark that here. And again, that's so that I can see trends. That way, whenever I'm going to the doctor, I can say, hey, this kept happening, or, you know, that, whatever it may be. And then here I do my water. So I marked this line wrong, so I left way too much space for my water here, but this is what I do for the water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I make enough for 10 squares. Oh, I totally smudged it. That's the one bad thing about these Pilot juice pens. I love them because they come in so many colors, and I just like the way they write, but they are very, very inky pens, and this paper doesn't absorb ink very well, so they tend to smear. Once it's like dry, like, see, I just like moved my finger up there and it didn't, but you know, it does take a little bit. So then I do H2O 10 ounce square. So each little square is 10 ounces. So my goal is 100 ounces for the day. I'll be honest, I don't often reach that, but that is how I, you know, write a little space here for me to track for, my water intake. And then there is something else that I track that's, you know, like for my own medicine, like my condition. I don't know what to call it, my disease, but I won't like specify that, but I just make like an extra couple of squares here. So then that leaves me this big old space here to write in my food. So I do, honestly, I track most of my food, pretty much everything that I do on MyFitnessPal, because that makes my like calories and carb counting really, really easy. But I'm just the kind of person that likes writing things down on paper. It's probably really unnecessary, but I just like to do it. So I will put, you know, in this space right here, I will put like BK for breakfast, and then I'll write out like what I ate for breakfast. I'll put like, you know, SK or S something for snack, LU for lunch, and then, you know, DN for dinner, and then I just write out whatever I ate and how much of it I ate. So I'll put, you know, say I had tuna, so I'll say like I had, you know, 1 can of tuna with 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise, or, you know, whatever it is. Like I write down the measurements of that as well. I realize that this might be overkill for a lot of people. You don't need to do, like, I don't feel like most people need to be that detailed. I am in a place in my life right now where I'm trying to make a lot of adjustments, and I'm also on this whole like weight loss journey. I've lost 46 pounds to date, like from the beginning of the year. So it's, you know, this is working for me. I'm also someone that unfortunately deals a lot with depression and anxiety. So tracking my moods really helps me, because a lot of the times my anxiety and can be kind of not controlled, but tamed, I would say, with working out, or with my hours slept. So I can see, hey, like this night I barely slept at all. My mood was really awful. You know, my energy was really low, or, you know, this day I did work out, so my mood was a little bit better. You know, patterns like that, I just like being able to see them. And so this is how I set it up. The order of this probably doesn't make sense. I could probably rearrange these things, but this is just how I've been doing it for so long already that it just, you know, it's what's stuck in my head. So that is it, y'all. I just wanted to show y'all a peek into this. Again, I'm sorry for not showing you completed weeks. It's just, you know, but you get the gist, and that's what I wanted y'all to see. I wanted y'all to see exactly, you know, what's what I do to set it up. And then on Mondays, so Monday here, I would just write weigh in, and then I just put the amount that I weigh there. And then at the front of, that's actually something I can show you. Let me flip to it. Give me 1 second. Okay, so now we're in the front of the Hobonichi. There is also a monthly section. The monthly section at the beginning of the year, I wasn't using it. So I can show you here just what it looks like in case you're not familiar with the Hobonichi A6. There is something I track on my monthly as well, but again, that's part of something that I'm not sharing at this moment. But this is my weight if you're interested. I don't think it's that interesting, but you know, someone out there might care, I guess. But it's just a good way to track it. So this was in August when I went to the doctor. That was how much I weighed, and then I gave myself a goal by the end of September. I wanted to have lost, I don't remember exactly how many pounds. I didn't write down the amount of pounds, but I wrote like what my goal weight was. And then some days I like go all crazy, weigh myself every single day. Other days I weigh myself every few days. That just seems to work better. So then in October, and then I don't write the goal until that month starts. Because here, for example, my end of month goal was to weigh 225, and I actually weighed 227.2 at the end of the month. Had I made the rest of my goals based on this goal weight, then everything, you know, I would have to like readjust every month. So I just, at the beginning of the month, I kind of look at how much weight I've lost. I also look at like things that are upcoming. Like in November, I didn't give myself like a huge weight loss goal, because, you know, I know it's the start of holiday season, so I know that I might have a little bit more calories than maybe I should, but, you know, my goal is to weigh 212 by the end of November. Right now we're somewhere around here, early mid-November. So it helps me to visualize it. It helps me to kind of see, and it also does me really, you know, a lot of good to see the progress. I look at it and I'm like, hey, like, you know, it's working. I'm doing something good for myself here. So that is what I'm doing, y'all. I am keeping track of all of my everything health related on here, and then a lot of weight focused things over here. But that is it, y'all. Sorry, y'all. I'm sorry if that was like a weird transition. Got a bit cut off there. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope that this gave y'all some inspiration if you're on a similar journey. Please let me know if you do any kind of tracking like this. What do you track? Do you track anything different? I would love to know of any suggestions or ideas, things that I could do differently in my journal here as well. But thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, make sure to click the like button. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it if you stuck around. And that's going to be it for this one, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.